What's a reality of life not many people accept? There is no reason for anything. No greater purpose. No inherent meaning. Only that which we define for ourselves. Following this logic ... morality is subjective. There are no absolute goods or bads. It's all up to interpretation. And lastly, free will is likely an illusion. Not to say the universe is deterministic. Rather, we just aren't as in control of our choices as we think we are. These are the 3 hard truths in my book. I have accepted 1 and 2. Still working on 3. You can't take it with you when you go. You can accumulate all the wealth you can possibly wrap your arms around. But when you die, you're dead and you're gone, and that's it. Even if there is an afterlife or a heaven, I'd be very surprised if the fact that you have a bigger pile of little pieces of green paper than anyone else will mean anything. Rather than piling up money, you should maybe think about leaving the world a better place instead. Your life is the result of your decisions. There's no luck, no bad luck, and no conspiracy against you. It's so much easier to believe that people who have a better life are just lucky or cheated, that nobody deserves what they have, and that you're the one who does, but life is so unfair. Maybe you're not as good as you think you are yet, and complaining will get you nowhere. That the huge majority of countries are ethno-national. If you are not genetically from there, you will not get a passport. This is persistent and enforced. Bhutan kicked out all the Nepalese in the 90s. Org Wiki ethnic cleansing in Bhutan text ethnic 20 cleansing 20 in 20 Bhutan 20 refers. Expelled 20 by 20, the 20 Bhutanese, 20 military, and no one knows. You can get really ill suddenly and everything you built could be gone. And you may not have support from the people in your life who don't understand or don't want to be there because it's hard or because you don't fit into their life anymore. Many people don't want to think that this could happen to them, that they will always be healthy. 2 good people can be horrible together. That doesn't make either of them toxic. It's just not what the other needed. For years I was obsessed with who was right or wrong in friendships. Was I their crazy ex-friend? Did they hate me all along? Am I a bad person? No, I wasn't a bad person. I was just the wrong person for them. While external factors and circumstances certainly influence our lives, ultimately, we are responsible for our choices, actions, and the direction of our lives. Accepting personal responsibility empowers us to take charge of our own happiness and fulfillment, rather than placing blame or waiting for external validation or solutions. There is no God or heaven, and when we die, the electrical signals that keep our body and minds functional cease to exist, causing us to cease to exist. We're simply electrified bags of watery meat, no souls, just a consciousness that ends at death. Most people cannot handle that fact, so they cope with religion and spirituality. If you can't rely on yourself, and I mean only on yourself, you might be in trouble. But you also need to be able to rely on yourself in case you're completely alone, because there may come a time where you are indeed completely alone with yourself and have no one else to rely on. We didn't exist before we were born. There was a 1 in a trillion chance of us being born. Then we die. A couple hundreds of years from now, nobody will know we've ever existed. And that's okay. We are incredibly fortunate to exist. So while we're here, we should make the best of this 1 chance of existing that we have. Just because you care doesn't hurt the world. Just because it's the right thing to do doesn't mean PPL will do it. Just because you're nice doesn't mean you will be treated the same. There's far more sheep in the world than you think, and it does take a lot of self-respect and perseverance to stand up against them. That life does suck, but just because it sucks doesn't mean you have to contribute to it. And that people deserve kindness even if they're major assholes. Because at the end of the day, they're still people. A lot of people are major assholes because they've never really seen kindness in their life. The newest generation is fucked. So many things get sucked into their minds, and their perspective of the world is just kind of messed up. Any little thing that someone tells them is either racist, homophobic, transphobic, or just offensive in every way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, you probably won't be able to retire in the traditional sense. Most of us will need to work part-time, at the very least, to supplement meager social security benefits and any savings we've managed to squirrel away. Despite our best efforts, life doesn't always distribute its challenges or rewards equally. People can work hard, make all the right choices, and still encounter setbacks, while others might seem to succeed with less effort. People think they are much better at predicting things than they actually are. For example, the best candidate for a job may not be good at interviews, and the best candidate for office may not be good at campaigning. Some people will not like you, and there's nothing you can do about that. Trying to force a friendship or relationship is now only about you, and that's not true love. You ultimately can't make someone like you back. We are not the masters of our fate, or the captains of our souls. Who you are, what makes you you, can all be taken away from you in an instant in ways you could not have possibly predicted or prepared for. You don't owe anyone anything, as they don't owe you as much. Accept change and accept its facts. But never accept the situation you're in, as change can always be made and will always be an option. Very few people will ever really give a shit about you or your well-being. They'll say the right stuff, but they will not inconvenience themselves even a little for someone or something else. You as an individual have very little control and influence in the world. Accept this and learn to work within your means. Your quality of life and peace of mind will change drastically. Nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to give it to you. There's no charity, no church, not government agency which is going to get you the things you want out of life. No matter where you work or what you do, there's always going to be that person that nobody can figure out how they got hired, or why they're allowed to continue working there. If you ever hear someone say, "I thought we were," in order to get you to do something for them, you need to cut them out of your life. Don't hesitate to do so. Maybe projecting a little, but you sometimes have to move on without getting kosher. I have a super corny analogy for this, but I'm gonna leave it out of this now. Regardless, it all ends. There's no reason to let negativity drive you down. You may as well enjoy it while it lasts and spread some happiness while you can. Life is being forced upon you, not given. If it was given to you, you would have had the chance to say no thanks. You never asked to be born, yet here you are. You shouldn't care about what others think. You could cure cancer tomorrow, there will still be people who despise you. Just live life the way you want. Life is inherently unpredictable and change is constant. Despite our desire for stability and control, circumstances can shift in unexpected ways. The enemy of your enemy is not your friend, LGBTQ people. You do not want to befriend Palestine, while they kill and persecute LGBTQ with gusto, that they don't know why they exist or what happens when they die. Denial's so deep that we have hundreds of religions that have existed, that if you were 60 and had £1 million, you give up all your money to be 20 again. We chase wealth so much, but time is everything. Your job isn't responsible for providing your meaning to life. They pay you for a service, go find God or family or something. Nothing but oxygen is free. You need to work to provide for yourself and family. The government isn't your cash cow. That humans are making progress. The powers to be dictate what that looks like. Progression can be a bad thing too. You can't bank your possessions, and it's a pain in the ass, because imagine buying something big and wanting to move. Liberals only stand by the minorities that are socially lower than them, may it be financially or intellectually. The universe doesn't balance itself out in regards to us karma, right and wrong, nothing. Go get even yourself. That enlightenment does not stand from your belly bottom. And different interests can never be argued over. Some people give it their all and still fail or come up short despite putting forth their best efforts. You can work harder than you ever thought possible for years on end and never reach your goals. You can't force someone to love you. What other people think of you is none of your business. You can do everything right and still lose. Also, you can do everything wrong and still win. If your morning shit smells terribly bad, there's something wrong with your food consumption. Not everybody has a happy ending, and there is no guarantee that you will end up successful. That taxes are a good thing for our economy. Doing something you don't want to do will get you the thing you never thought you needed. Just because you don't like a particular outcome, it doesn't mean that life is unfair. You're never going to keep that white sweatshirt clean. Don't even bother buying it. You are not a temporarily embarrassed millionaire. You are poor or middle class. Life isn't fair, but it's not fair to everyone. That's what makes it fair. Life is actually demonstrably unfair, and the bad guy wins most of the time. There is no lottery of birth. You never had the same chance as Elon Musk. Your zodiac sign has nothing to do with who you are or the way you act. You really do learn how to be strong alone at the end of it all. You can't please everyone, and there is no such thing as fair. Luck plays a bigger factor in success than we'd like to think. We are on a blue dot orbiting through the vast of nothingness. Love will never be the same in the generation of technology. We can't fly like superheroes no matter how hard we try. If you work hard and plan well, you might still be broke. That the only sure things in life are taxes and death. That having money doesn't necessarily means happiness. The zip code you were born in determine quite a bit. That it is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Sometimes you have to just take the L and move on.